Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel Mystic Roads. Old Goa is also called as Velah Goa in Portuguese, is situated besides the Mandovi River in the western India state of Goa, about 10 kilometers from Panjim. The former capital of Portuguese India brought in styles of Renaissance and Baroque architecture to India, with several colonial era monuments like Basilica of Bom Jesus and the domed church of St.Cajetan, St. Cathedral, and several other historical monuments and archaeological UNESCO World Heritage Sites which stands tall in Old Goa today. A region that enthralls tourists with its calm, beautiful buildings surrounded by huge swatches of green landscapes. Old Goa was built by the Bijapur Sultanate and served as the administrative headquarters until a deadly plague broke out and it had to be abandoned subsequently. Panaji took over as the capital and has remained so since then. In this video, let me take you to visit some of the historical landmarks of the Velah Goa or the Old Goa. One of the main attractions in the Old Goa is the Basilica of Bom Jesus. The Basilica of Bom Jesus, located in Old Goa, is one of a kind in India and is known for its exemplary Baroque architecture. Built in 1594 and consecrated in 1605, the building of this church coincides with the beginning of Christianity in India. The oldest church in Goa, it holds the remains of St.Francis Xavier. Even after 400 years, the remains are in good condition and it's kept on display on special occasions. Inside the floor of the basilica is made of marble mosaic with precious stones, giving it a solemn appearance. The interior is embellished with a screen that runs from the floor to the ceiling and has the image of Saint Ignatius Loyola protecting infant Jesus. A site with rich cultural and religious significance, the Basilica of Bom Jesus have been declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. The Basilica of Bom Jesus is over 415 years old and is open to the public every day. Next is the Archaeological Museum of Old Goa. Archaeological Museum has a splendid collection of artifacts belonging to the prehistoric and late medieval era. The museum was once an ancient Franciscan monastery. The Archaeological Survey of India founded the museum in 1964 but was recognized only after 1984. One can find an array of antiques including coins, statues, ivory and wood sculptures, paintings, portraits, maps, inscriptions, stoneworks, ceramics, etc. The Church of St. Francis Assisi. The Church of St. Francis Assisi is one of the most respected Roman Catholic churches built in Goa. Built in the year 1661 by the Portuguese, this beautiful church displays a Baroque and Corinthian architecture with intricately laid out ornaments in the interior. The interiors that have been done so beautifully is sure to leave you impressed. Another impressive thing about this church is the museum inside. The museum displays many artifacts, paintings, and also stunning sculptures. If you want to experience the rich lifestyle that existed in Goa many centuries ago, this is where you should be. The church, with its neatly designed frescoes with floral designs and intricately carved woodwork, are also another attraction that you must watch for. If you also carefully look at the walls, you will also see many paintings that depict the life of St. Francis Assisi. Closer to the church is St. Cathedral. The Cathedral di Santa Caterina, which is also one of the largest in India, is also the most popular church of Goa. This cathedral was built with a purpose to celebrate the victory of Afonso, who was a Portuguese ruler, after he was captured a Goan city in 1510. The day of the victory was also the feast of St.Catherine, and the cathedral was thus dedicated to her. Cathedral has a magnificent Portuguese Manueline architectural style. The interiors have a Corinthian style, while the exteriors display a perfect Tuscan style of architecture. Cathedral stands tall at 250 feet, and the front structure itself is 115 feet high. The biggest attraction point of this church is the Golden Bell, which is also the largest in the state. On your walking tour, you will also find numerous ancient paintings, especially in the altar that was made in dedication to Catherine of Alexandria. You can take a walking tour that is arranged by locals and the tourist operators. The church is open every day except Sunday from 7:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Close to the nunnery of Santa Monica stands a lofty tower still proudly, defying the vagaries of the weather and ravages time. This is the only surviving tower of the four that were once a part of the church St. Augustine. The church is dedicated to Our Lady of Grace. Its construction was started in the year 1597 and was completed around 1602. Originally comprising of 4 towers and a massive vault, the dimension of this superb edifice placed on it par with the great imperial cathedrals of Renaissance era. In 1986, UNESCO declared the ruins to be a World Heritage Site. It is also the site of the archaeological discovery of the remains of Queen Cathedral. There is a little that can be seen today of the gracious and imposing church and monastery which once stood at this site. However, it is still considered worth a visit. Clambering over the old ruins causes one to reflect on the passage of time and its vagaries. The Church of Lady of Rosary is one of the earliest churches of Goa, located on the west of Basilica of Bom Jesus. You will find 2 beautiful chapels and also altars inside the church, and the main altar is dedicated to the Holy Mother. The moment you lay your eyes on this church, you will be left stunned by the magnificent interiors and also exteriors that look similar to a fortress church. Manueline in style and simplistically designed, this church also has a touch of Gothic architecture. On the floor of the altar is also the tombstone of Goa's early governors called Garcia de Shah. It is believed that St.Francis Xavier had given his very first sermon here when he arrived in Goa. If you are looking for some quiet moments, this church is where you should be. The best time to explore this church is from 9:30 to 5:30, and it is open on all days. The Viceroy's Arch, located on the way to the Divar Island jetty from the church of St.Cajetan. The Viceroy's Arch is a charming stone structure dedicated to the memory of Europe's most celebrated navigator, Vasco da Gama. Constructed in 1599 by his great-grandson, Francisco da Gama, this arch captivates onlookers with its curious greenish granite and laterite stone. This monument contains the statue of Vasco da Gama at one end and a statue of St.Catherine. The Viceroy's Arch has Portuguese inscriptions on both sides of the inner walls of the arch. Adhil Shah Palace Gateway, or the Passage of the Palace of Yusuf Adhil Shah, is a notable landmark found near the church of St.Cajetan. The Muslim king Yusuf Ali Adhil Shah, the Sultan of Bijapur, had built it. Prior to the Portuguese, Adhil Shah controlled Goa from Bijapur in the state of Karnataka. Before giving in the hands of Portuguese, he built a lovely royal residence here as its remembrance. It was built with a blend of Hindu and Muslim style of engineering. The passage of basalt columns holding up a flat lintel is all that is left of the once delightful royal residence today. The castle, before pulverization, was the home of the Portuguese governor until 1696. The Chapel of St.Catherine, another one of the UNESCO's World Heritage Sites in Old Goa. This small and elegant chapel, though now dysfunctional, is of immense significance to Portuguese history in India. This elegant chapel faces Mandovi River, and unlike most other pure white structures in Goa, this chapel is characterized by a brown and white facade. As a visitor, it would be interesting to note that the Cathedral, the Church of St.Francis of Assisi, the Archaeological Museum and the Portrait Gallery, and the Chapel of St.Catherine, stretching from the east to west, are situated in the same compound maintained by the Archaeological Survey of India. The Church of St.Cajetan. The church is a huge and stunning architecture that is situated very close to the Adhil Shah Palace gateway and also to the Cathedral. The architecture of this church is breathtaking and has minor influences of the Corinthian style of architecture. The interiors are divided into two different sections that have both aisles and huge pillars. The model of this church is said to have been greatly inspired by the original design of Basilica in Rome. The Church of St.Cajetan was built by Italian friars of the Order of Theatrine, and the name was derived from the name of a Theatrine founder, St.Cajetan, who was also a friend to St. Xavier. In 1666, the construction of this church was completed and today is considered one of the most beautiful churches of Goa. There are a total of 6 altars that are carved and constructed with brilliant interiors. The altars have shafts that have pictures of angels on them, and this adds to the beauty to this already beautiful church. An absolute visual delight, you can visit this church on all days of the week between 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. and 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. The Chapel of Our Lady Mount. The Chapel of Our Lady Mount was built by Alfonso de Albuquerque, the Portuguese general. He ordered the construction of this chapel following up on a vow that he took during the battle against the Deccan Sultanate. Since its construction started in 1510, immediately after the conquest, it is believed to be one of the earliest chapels built in Goa. Dedicated to Blessed Virgin Mary, it is best known as the venue for the annual Monte Music Festival held in the month of November. The unique festival is a celebration of classical traditions from Indian and Western music. For the rest of the year, though the building may remain relatively isolated and the staircase leading up from the street may be covered with greens or dry leaves, and is also a famous shooting spot for movies and films. The Chapel of Our Lady Mount is located over a hill that is diametrically opposite to Mandovi River. The compound offers stunning views of the Mandovi River, the nearby Divar Island, and of Old Goa itself. Facing the west, it's an ideal place to enjoy sunsets. Thank you for watching my video. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel and let's stay connected, explore, dream and discover. Please like and share my videos. Thank you once again.